All right. Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Let's see if this works. This is the first time I want to try out if these kind of exclusive stream works that are not on my YouTube channel. They're more in Facebook, not on Facebook, but in the Facebook group. And for my Patreons, I also shared the link with them. Yeah, let's see if that is something that works or not. Let me know. And then maybe next time we can try differently. Let's see. Yeah, I just thought it might be a good idea because it seemed like most people who are interested in the stream are long-time followers anyways, are probably part of the Facebook community anyway. So I thought it might be interesting to have something that's exclusive to the Facebook group as content. Yeah, but let's see if that works or not. Good. Yeah, I will maybe should I probably should wait until some more people join. Let's see. Let me organize my windows here a little bit. Also, I can bring the chat over so I can see that. That would be good. Pop out chat. Let's bring this over here. And yeah, today is Sunday, right? Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see. What can I talk about in the meantime? I don't know. It's interesting to do these new tutorials that are a bit more art inspired. And I wanted to show you some ideas today about that because I collected different kind of editing styles from other artists out there, and then also photo ideas, that simple things that can be done in camera. Although the last one was pretty long. So I don't intend to make videos that long on YouTube because usually people don't watch for that long. And the last one, I think, was half an hour long. So that seems to be a bit extensive for a YouTube video. Yeah, the last one was half an hour long, so it's pretty long. I have to look into that. But I think generally the idea is not bad to create interesting, simple ideas that people can follow, that people can try for themselves, to give different kind of inspirations. Yeah, let's see. I'm not sure if this is working. I'm not sure if people are really... maybe people don't get notified on... I mean, of course they don't get notified on YouTube if I schedule this kind of live stream because it's unlisted. So, yeah, I don't know. Should we switch it over to public? I don't know. Well, it was an experiment. It was very much on short notice. I understand that. So maybe a lot of people didn't even see that. I should have announced that maybe a week ago or something. Oh yeah, also the feedback for my photo that I took, that I shared in the Facebook community. So that's also interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick around for some time, and then we can see if some more people... If you join, please let me know in the chat, so I have an idea about that. That would be great. So the reaction to that photo was pretty mixed. It was interesting. A lot of negative feedback too, which I do understand, because it's different than people would understand, and different than you would usually use these lenses. On the other hand, I found it interesting because it gives a very specific effect. It's out of proportion, of course, but I don't mind that if it's interesting from the expression, from the result that you're getting from that. And I found that the interesting is actually very interesting. The result is actually very interesting. It's more in that how heroes, heroines, better said, are sometimes lately more portrayed in like comics or video games with more exaggerated proportions, but at the same time, that's still interesting, right? Okay. Right. I will just stay here and collect some of these ideas until some people join. Let's see. So I have collected some stuff here, as you can see here. This is the one that I did for the last tutorial. Of course, the original looks better than mine, but this is from an artist who has done a lot of these things. That's the style of that artist. So of course they have a lot more experience in that. I think my version is not too bad in comparison. Yeah, and also I wanted to keep it simple. So you can see here there's a little bit more light effects in here and stuff like that, and I didn't carry that over into my tutorial. It would have been even longer, even more complex, right? Okay, by the way, I forgot to point out in my tutorial that there is this difference here in brightness for the background, the foreground, and this is why I make this darker edge in my tutorial too. Okay. Anyways. So what else? Let's see. By the way, I like this more ideas button here because it simply suggests, based on what you have already inside of your board, it suggests more ideas that are similar to that. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. That might be interesting. I'm not sure. Oh, that's from the same artist. Really very nice art style. I really like that. I also thought today maybe could do some more variations on that. We can experiment with that a little bit more, but let's see. Okay, so this is not very interesting. Let me close this and that. So these are the ideas that I've collected. This fairly simple things you can do with editing. Well, sometimes you need a different software, like for example this. You could do it by hand, but it's probably a bit difficult. So you probably want to find something that does that automatically. Filter Forge might be able to do that. I'm not sure. I have to look into these concepts. This is a very simple one here. I'm not sure how interesting that is, but like for the viewers. But artistically, I found it interesting. It's kind of a simple trick and at the same time nice. A little bit old school, but why not? What else do we have? I like this one here too. I think this is again from the same artist. Yeah, you see here. Magdil Lopez. I don't know how to pronounce that name, by the way. So yeah. But it's interesting with that large N, and then there's a person walking there, but you can still very well see the person. That's pretty interesting. Also, the idea, you can see these are numbered. So to make a series of works, number them, I think maybe as a training purpose. Maybe this was kind of a try to do a nice artwork every day kind of project. I don't know. But it could be also interesting. You see, it's from 2017. So, yeah. This is something I wanted to do. It's not technically complicated, but it's artistically interesting. I think a lot of these things that you can find out there that are interesting to look at are technically not that hard to do. The hardest part of that is to, well, first of all, find the inspiration on getting the idea, right? And then of course combining the elements, because like technically it's not hard to do these things, but to find all these things on how they fit together, this kind of puzzle of what kind of, you see, what kind of elements in the background, what stuff do you want to paint in the foreground, and doing it in a way that looks nice. That's a difficult thing here. Right, so yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Here's another one that's rather simple. This one here. You have to find the photos of these wings, of course, but other than that, I don't think that's very difficult to do. Maybe making it so it looks that it goes along the side of the head, like this is literally kind of warping around the head. I'm an idiot. You can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, so good thing not too many people have watched so far. Oh my god. Okay, let me switch over here. Should we start? Let's just switch over. Okay, that was, what is this? Okay, that's not the right one. This is the right one. Okay, there we go. Now you can see what's going on. By the way, I can't even see the chat. There's the chat. Okay, good. Okay, so that was a big fail so far. Yeah, but now now you can see what I'm talking about. So like I said, I'm searching for ideas, because I want to, of course, do these kind of basic Affinity Photo and maybe other software tutorials talking about different kind of interesting things you can try with that software. But I find the idea of these creative tutorials also interesting, to try out different artistic ideas. And you can see some of them are complex, some of them are not complex. This is a board with just editing ideas. A lot of them have this kind of drawing style in there, like this one here, and the other one that I tried to show you before. Where is it? This one here. So a little bit of drawing in there too, which is not too bad. I think a lot of people have an iPad, so might be not too hard to do that, or yeah, maybe a tablet or something. So that's good. It's at least it's very interesting to look at. No, this wasn't the one that I wanted to show you. Wait a second. This one here. Let's open this up. Yes, this one here. Again, Probably something it's easier to do with an iPad, but it's nice. It's very interesting to try around, to play around with these elements, to mix photography and design a little bit to create something new, to bring it into a new dimension. That could be interesting. Yeah, so yeah, and then I also have another board where I collect photographic ideas. This one here for YouTube, where I want to show you things that are technically simple to do, but give impressive, interesting results. Like, for example, I mean, I have to figure out how to do this one. To be honest, I have to see. It looks easy. It's probably not that hard to do. The hardest thing probably to figure out here is to have the camera roughly in the same perspective angle to be able to combine these pictures well. But other than that, I guess the guy is simply having his hand on a green screen or some other screen, and then you take that normal photo and simply draw that guy in and do some adjustments of the ambient light and of the atmosphere, and maybe also a little bit of blur because it's more in the background, stuff like that. And of course you want to mix up the shadow and light source situation well in this. I think this is also the reason why you will see that in a lot of the photos who do these kind of effects, you have an overcast day, because then you don't have any shadows. So there's like not sharp shadows. You can see on the ground there's no shadow under the dog, under the guy. So that's kind of easy then to combine these pictures together if you don't have to look for shadow complexity. This is also, of course, pretty rather simple to do, this one here, just with a little bit of fabric over the face and some nice face expressions. Could be an interesting series, right? Yeah, so these kind of in-camera tricks, that could be nice. This I wanted to do actually this weekend instead of that hat. But I can do that soon. I'm not sure if I should maybe do a vote about that, like make a screenshot of that technique and then say, hey, would you rather have this as the next tutorial or have this as the next tutorial, right? And then I can try to I can prepare that and make a nice video about that, right? There's some nice, I mean, stuff like that, for example. Where's that? Like this one here, that's also very simple with the frame. This is probably one of the simpler things to do and at the same time very popular. I have seen that a lot of people doing that on the internet. So yeah, I wanted to start off with simple camera tricks, right? Things that are really easy to do and where maybe you even don't need any kind of special equipment. This is also nice, and this is also nice. Here, look at that. Like just a little bit of a steamed and a little bit of a, like, I don't know how you call these dripping water here on the screen to have that. And then to have a light from the top. It looks great, right? I don't think it's pretty hard. I don't think it's hard to do, but it looks interesting. And then you do some nice editing for that. And then, yeah, you're set for that, right? And here, this one, also pretty simple. Just take two photos, one with the guy in the shoes and then just the shoes. You just have to be careful when taking off the shoes. That's the only hard part here, basically, right? Yeah, so this could be interesting as tutorials. So to have a little bit of photography in there also, right? Okay, let's see if there's some, like, look at that. That's also nice. You just have like a wet fabric. So a lot of the things that are really amazing and really great to look at are technically not that hard. And to play through these different ideas is really interesting, because that's the main thing, is to get better with things and to find your style is to just try out a lot of different things and to look into them. Is there potential? Is there something that interests you? I think that's also the main thing. Is there something that you are interested in, right? Because finding your own style and voice basically means that you find something you want to stick with. So it has to be interesting to you, right? And you can see when you, this is also what I like about Pinterest. You select a picture and then you scroll down and then you find more variations of the same thing, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can do some really cool stuff with that. Let me know in the chat what you think. And yeah, if you're watching. And also, what do you think about the idea to make these streams exclusive to Facebook and to Patreon and stuff like that? Let's see if that works. I have announced that kind of late, although I announced it also yesterday in the tutorial. So yeah. And let me know also in the chat, what do you think about these kind of more artistic tutorials that show techniques in an applied way. Of course, they are not great in the sense of being found through Google or through YouTube search. So that's kind of a downside of that, because it's a specific kind of thing you're doing. Rather compared to saying curve adjustment explained, because this is something people going to be searching on Google and on YouTube, right? Or I don't know, these other things. You know what I mean? Better selection, affinity photo, stuff like that. That is something people search for. If you say portrait with a wet blanket, probably not something people look for. But at the same time, it's an interesting thing that I think builds more long-time interest, is more interesting, because everybody can do a tutorial about how a brush works or how you adjust colors. But if you have a specific like artistic element in there, that could be interesting, right? This is where more people follow that, right? And also, I see a lot of things on YouTube that are trending in the sense of that a lot of people do tutorials about this kind of artistic style, but then it's not done that well. So I also thought to pick up some of these ideas and maybe try to do them in a better way, right? Than the average tutorial is. Do I have a example for that? I'm not quite sure. Yeah. If you, yeah, feel free to use the chat. You see there's a lot of different ideas here. I recently saw one that's... Anyways. Oh yeah, I remember this kind of effect of Pinterest, no, sorry, Instagram, where you have a post and then some part of the body is sticking over the edge of the post, seemingly. It's kind of simulated in your photo editing that the hand is reaching out of the post, stuff like that. And I found that a lot of the examples that people show in tutorials are not that well executed. So to try to do that better is, of course, a lot more work to do that as a tutorial than just explaining a technical part of a software. But at the same time, it's maybe more interesting, right? So yeah. Okay, anyways. Let me know what you think. Oh, by the way, you suggested also things. I asked you to suggest things from Pinterest. By the way, I also asked you for the feedback. We can talk about that too. 1 second. Of course, there is a lot of suggestions from things that have already been done a lot of times. Let me wait a second. Let me click on that post from myself here, and then it's easier to find that other post. I was rather looking for some newer ideas that I like haven't been done. Oh, by the way, I did this video about that backpack, showing you all of the inside and what I like about it, and it kind of how it's different from other photo backpacks. That's a bonus for Patreon supporters. So yeah. If you're a Patreon supporter, absolutely check that out. It's about 10 minutes long, and I really like that backpack. It's really nice. It's not an endorsement or any kind of thing like that. I'm not paid by the company. As always, I don't do that. Yeah, I'm just I looked for a long time to find a good backpack that also has a low profile. Anyways, oh, hasn't this been posted? Oh, it's not March 8th yet. Okay, I see. Where is the one where I asked you for the links? I can't find it right now. That's strange. Did I do that before that post? I don't think so. Well, I can't find it right now. Strange. I don't know why. I can't find it right now. Okay. Good. What else? Okay, for the feedback. Yeah. Some positive feedback, some negative feedback, which was really interesting to see the different opinions of that. So it looks like a lot of people have very like defined opinions of what a portrait can be or can't be. And for me, I find it really interesting that people are very specific about that a portrait has to have the right physical proportions. Because for me, it's like, I don't care too much about that. I rather care about how the picture looks and how the expression is, than if everything is exactly the way the body is. Because a photography is not an anatomy course, right? So why does it have to be everything the same? And then, of course, the first feedback is, oh, you made me look so heavy. But is that really something to be worried about? I don't know. Is that so important? I don't know. It's kind of... I rather like the artistic expression. Also, like taking inspiration from how characters are portrayed in comics, in video games, and stuff like that. These superheroes, stuff like that, who have like stronger, larger proportions than usual, right? And this kind of big hip look is pretty popular recently, so I don't know. I thought this looks pretty powerful. I kind of like it. It's not the best picture. I think we both weren't really in the mood that day to take these pictures, because usually I don't take pictures like that. So for me, I was pretty nervous too. And then, yeah. So everything was a little bit strange, and I found but still, it's not too bad. It's not a great picture. Like, it's not one of the things where I would say, oh, this is something I would put necessarily in my portfolio. But at the same time, what I found interesting is that just the expression, right? By the way, and yeah, I don't know. I like to do portraits or these kind of photos with a wide angle lens, even though you have a lot of distortion from that. By the way, you have this bed in the background, and that's a bit stupid, because you see there is this mattress and the whatever that is, and you see it overlays. It has the same color here on that side, and it looks like her leg is starting down here and then ending up here, so it looks super big, which is not the case, because actually the leg is ending down here, and this is just background here. Maybe I should edit that out, I'm not sure. And so it doesn't have a good line to read the picture in the first place, so that's a little bit problematic. Yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement, but it's still interesting. And also, yeah, interesting feedback. It's always good to ask for opinions, right? So I'm really taking a lot of that into consideration. That's pretty interesting. This is why I asked you, right? Okay, cool. Right. So some people are here. Use the chat if you want to. I don't think you can post links necessarily, but you can suggest things via text. Maybe people write something, I can't see it. Let me refresh the chat here real quick, but I don't think anybody has written something. Which is, it's strange. Usually people say, hey, hi, Olivio, stuff like that. So I'm a bit confused what's going on. Okay, anyways. Good. How long have we been streaming, by the way? Half an hour. Okay, that's good. All right. Yeah, so this is basically the idea here. And then I thought maybe I do some versions of the file I have done here. By the way, if you're surprised why in the tutorial I start with this vertical line and then I end with these diagonal lines in the tutorial. This is why I made as a preparation 2 versions already in Affinity Photo. And you can see here one of them. I can actually show you. One of them has a square in the background and diagonal lines. This one. And this is why I, in the tutorial, also did diagonal lines, because I kind of mixed that up with the other version I did, this one here. Which has this round background and then a straight line downwards. And I think, yeah, and this is then the version that we did live for the tutorial with the circle and the diagonal lines. So yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, and we can play around with that a little bit. I thought maybe it would be interesting to do some more versions. This is the first one I created. Yeah, we can play around. We can play around with this a little bit. Let's see. Although this, I think this has higher resolution. It might be that Affinity Photo is crashing. I had that a lot recently. I don't know why that's happening. This has 4,000. So yeah, let's see if that works or not. Let me make a copy of that. Let's call this version 4 live stream. And then we can just play around with these elements here. Like, what could we do here? We have this rectangle here in the background. Let's have a look if we what happens if we copy this over like this and then just make some lines in the background? That's not too bad. Let me delete the last one. Then let's bundle all of these together and maybe stretch them out a little bit like so. It's interesting. Let me put them in a group and then create a rectangle over everything. And then let's delete this here and make this transparent on one side like so. And now I can use it as a mask to below. You can see, so now they are kind of fading in. Let's see if we can do this a little bit nicer. How's that? If they are fading in. You can do this sideways too. Although if it's like that, you hardly see it. Not too bad. Let me duplicate that and then put it here and set this to maybe... Oh, that's interesting. You see, if I do this effect, it's still on all of the pictures, not just on the group. That's kind of strange. Oh, maybe I have to... Do I have to put it in here? No. Because then it's working like a mask, right? All right. Maybe I have to do this differently. 1 second. Hey, Simon. Thanks for joining. So some people are joining now. That's good. Okay. Oh, let me move this over. Okay, there we go. Yeah, hi. How are you doing? I hope you saw the beginning also, where I talked about the different kind of sources for inspiration. Let me see. Can we make a... that's not good. Let's turn this off and then do it. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Um... Yeah, let's create an adjustment here for what? For brightness, right? Let's take curves here. So this should now have that kind of filter on there. So I can bring everything down. And now if I would duplicate this and then would use this as a mask for my curve, there we go. Okay, so that works. Okay, so you can see now I can have an adjustment here for the brightness, and this adjustment also follows my gradient because I put it on the second one too. So that's actually pretty cool. You see, you can do some interesting additional effects with that. Very nice. Let me see, with adjust the colors a little bit. Oh. You can do some pretty cool stuff with that. It's also nice. I was actually thinking about creating variations and then putting them also in the group to give you some more inspirations. So that's actually nice. We can actually save some variations here. Let's save this. Let's export this. Should I save it as a file? Or should I save it as just an export? I think the files are already pretty big. Let me see. Oh, I didn't save this in here? Probably, no, it's in here. AP Creative Image. So why is this not here? 1 second. Oh, there it is. How big is that? 56. Oh, that's pretty small. Okay, so we can save that. So let's save this as I don't know. Let's save this service version 5, whatever. Okay. Good. What else could we do here? What else can we play around with? Have here our background rectangle. You see, this is also not too bad, right? If you have a gray background or something else, or maybe a uniform background. Let's play around with that. Let's make a rectangle here and then simply create a solid color. Nah, a gradient looks better, I think. Maybe this is nice, but a gradient probably looks better. Let me turn these off real quick. Nah, not happy with that. Maybe if these stripes would be white or gray. We can try that. Let's make another adjustment here, make it black and white. Oh, but then it's over all of the picture, I think. Unless I move it into the background. Can I move it into background? I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's make this black and white first. Oh, it's already in the background. Okay, cool. Deselect here. Not as great as I thought it would be. Okay. By the way, another thing we can try, let's delete these curves here real quick. Not all of them. I want to keep one of them. Let's delete that. Maybe also delete this. Or let's keep it for the moment. So I want to try something. When I start out over here, and let's make this thin. And then I make a... Oh, but when I resize that, I don't think that works. But let's see. Okay, so I move this over and make a copy. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. And then I will also resize that a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Like so. And so now if I repeat this with Control J. Oh, okay. Oh, it's increasing in distance too. Okay, let's undo this. Or let's just delete them. Let's try this again. So, no, that was the wrong one. Where are we? Rectangle, there we go. Let's copy this over. I hold Control and then I mouse drag this over. And then I'm gonna resize this a little bit. Okay. And now repeat. Ooh, look at that. That is a pretty nice effect. Look at this. It's kind of interesting. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Let's group this for a second. Move this over here. Interesting. How's it when we rotate them? Maybe like this? Like that? No. How about we do it like this? No, sorry. Can do it like this and then copy this over, rotate it to the other side and then like so. I mean, now the gradient is not lining up anymore, but other than that, Oh, I was thinking, why doesn't this have this kind of, like, you see this kind of shape here? But this is our shadow from the head. This is that shape here. Let's see if we rotate this and put it over to the other side. How does that look? Yeah, kind of strange. What do you think? Oh, Simon says something. 1 second. Oh no, now I can't read it. 1 second, let's bring this back. Simon says, Olivio, the other week you mentioned that you had pulled out of Evanto Market. I was just keen to know why you did not go with their subscription service for content. Yeah, I know. So first let's answer the Evanto thing. I subscribe to them. Let me switch over here real quick. So like that. Okay. So I subscribe to Evanto, and they have a lot of different things, which is really cool. Like they have designs and overlays and effects for video cutting and music and sound effects, and there's a lot of stuff and 3D graphics. And it's a really good offer for a very nice price and stuff like that. The problem I had is you cannot register your YouTube or social media accounts with the platform so that they know in advance who you are. And that's not great, to be honest, because if someone copyright claims your video, you don't get paid for that time until that is resolved. So in that time, the video is not monetized, right? And so I didn't want to have the risk that that I might be copyright claimed, and then I have to resolve that, and it might take 2 or 3 weeks to do that, maybe. And in that time, I don't get anything from that video, and maybe I even get a strike on my channel, which is a huge risk. So I don't understand why they are not doing that. This is a very, like, a huge risk for creators to do that. So the easy way would be they have a form where you simply enter the domains where you post the material, so they are whitelisted and they know what is going on. And then I'm not quite sure if it's like that, but I'm not sure if you can. No, because I don't think that's that page. That's a different page where you don't get any kind of receipt for your download. I think they give you a receipt. I'm not quite sure if they do, to be honest, because I never downloaded anything because I wanted to have my money back. So I didn't even try anything from the page. But the resources look really cool. The only fear I had is that you can't register your channel with that. So there might be a problem, right? And I don't know how strict they are, because I looked online, and some people on Reddit and on other pages said they had a lot of problems with that. And they always have like copyright claims, and you don't want to get into that kind of bad attention or bad focus that the site thinks, oh, you are an offender of copyrights and licensing, stuff like that, and they might not like promote you as well, or like, you know what, list you as well with your videos, right? So I didn't want to have that risk, so I didn't do that. And then, so now I'm back with a free pick for my photo resources. And then I tried out, right now I'm trying out Epidemic Sound for music. Although, to be honest, for now, I have used maybe 1 track in 2 months. So I didn't use it as much, and it's limited to just 1 channel, which is also kind of not so great. Before that, I was with Artlist. Artlist is more expensive, but you can use it on whatever you want, which is very nice. And in Epidemic, you have to register each account individually. Like if you have 2 YouTube channels, you have to do that individually. And then also, I don't know if I could use that for a product or not, right? I have to ask them. Like if I do my Gumroad course, could I do a nice intro music on that course because it's not on YouTube, or it's just for YouTube and some other social media channels, right? Or maybe in that case you need a more expensive license. So licenses are a huge headache, to be honest, especially to keep track of them afterwards. Like, because a lot of artists also have their materials on different sites at the same time. So you kind of have to remember where you got that image from at that time. And that might be years back, right? Or where someone said, hey, you did that, you used my photo in your video or whatever. Where did you download that? How did you get that? And then you have to remember, where do I get that from, right? So all that kind of tracking thing is difficult. If you have a license, you can download, it's easier, because then all the information is in a PDF. So that's very easy to track, right? Okay. And what was Neil said, it doesn't pop up on YouTube. The reason for that is because today I wanted to try to do the stream exclusively for the people in my Facebook community. So the stream is unlisted. Because I thought it looked to me like only the people who know me for a longer time are watching it anyways, and the numbers are kind of small anyways. So I thought it maybe, if my overall YouTube community is not interested in the stream, maybe I should not do it on YouTube. I should do it somewhere else. But at the same time, it's hard to inform people about that stream, right? Although I kind of did it last minute, so the fault's on me too. Any other question? I've downloaded content from them, and you can sometimes find your content disappears. Your content disappears? How do you mean that? Like people remove it from the platform? That's actually a big problem, yes. That people, like artists, remove their content from the platform, stuff like that. Also on Unsplash, that people remove things. Like, for example, for my latest course with the fantasy portrait, I had to find a different overlay because one of the photographers removed that photo from the page. So I think in the future I have to figure out a way where I ask them if I can just put it as a file into the course. It's not a huge thing from my perspective, because you could always find another smoke overlay or another like what is it, fire spark overlay to use. So that's not that bad, but of course it would be better if the files are directly included, right? Okay, let's go back here. Right now, Humble Bundle have a great music offer. Yeah, but these packs from Humble Bundle, they are often not that great from the content, to be honest. I tried them, but I tried the graphic pack, and it's pretty not so great, to be honest. I wasn't super happy with that. By the way, let's try here to make some kind of completely painted background. Make the brush here a little bit bigger. And then let's see, hardness 0, opacity 100. Yeah, let's go with that for now. And then let's use the same kind of colors we used before. Let me see, 100, that looks good. Okay, let's just paint here. Oh, I have the second shadow on, 1 second. I have to give that, I have to delete that. There we go, okay. So let's just, oh, no, that's just not what I wanted to do. I painted on something it shouldn't have been painted on. Okay, there we go. Let's go back here. And we can try some different kind of versions. Maybe with blue. How about blue? Is blue interesting? We had violet in the other version, which kind of mixes a little bit better. How about orange down here? How about a darker orange? So let's play around with some of these colors and see what we can do with that. And have kind of a, let's cover up everything, the background, with that yellow. And then paint in different colors around that. Make this a little bit bigger. Whoa, not that big. So yeah, that's kind of the reason behind that. But licensing is always kind of a big headache in general. I don't even know how bigger companies are doing that, keeping track of all that stuff. Like years later, things like that. You know, if you make a movie or something and you have to figure out from these 5,000 or 10,000 different sound effects you used, where you got that one specific sound effect from, right? How do you, like, do you have like huge volumes of printed licenses back in the day to figure that out? Or how did that work? I have no idea. Let's see if we can create something interesting here. By the way, what do you think about NFTs? I looked into them. I still can't really wrap my head around what that is or what you're actually getting. Because I was looking into that and I thought, do you get the rights over the work? But you don't get the rights over the work. Which is kind of normal with artwork. So just because you bought a painting doesn't mean you can sell photos of that painting. You don't own the copyright to the painting. You only own the painting, right? So that's understandable. But then what do you actually get at that moment? Because you're not getting the work, because that's just like a digital file that everybody can download. You don't get any rights over that work. Sometimes they can give you the copyrights if they want to, but they don't have to. So And also the work is not included. The only thing you have is the license. The work is not the part that you're getting at that point, right? So, yeah, it's very, I don't know, kind of strange. If you have a better understanding of that, let me know. I'm pretty sure it's nice in the future if they figure that out a little bit more because of these kind of digital contracts, smart contracts, stuff like that. Although I'm not quite sure what kind of problem it's solving because we already have digital contracts. If I download a file from FreePic, I get an automated license PDF. And of course, yes, maybe the blockchain is more safe against getting like corrupted and faked like that. But yeah, I don't know. Is that a huge issue that people fake licenses for things they download from the internet? Of course, the photos that I download, the pictures that I download from FreePic, they don't cost like $500,000. They like $1 or something, you know. So you simply own the token. Yeah, but isn't the token the same as the license in that regard? Because the token is that the difference is to some kind of something like Bitcoin is that your token is basically the contract, and this is why it's individual, that this is just that one thing, as far as I understand that, right? And then this can be adapted if someone else buys that, they are getting written into that contract, and this is in that way it's not exchangeable. But I mean, I don't even know if the artists themselves clarified if they would ever only sell one of the JPEGs or GIFs or whatever that is from that, or if they sell it to you for 500,000 and then they just put the same JPEG up again and say, well, it's a little bit bigger, so now it's a different work, right? So, or you just say, okay, this is a copy, I make just 10,000 copies of the same JPEG, which you can, of course, with photographs, you can make just prints and say, okay, this is a series of 10,000 prints, right? So you probably clarify that before that. I'm kind of, I don't know, uncertain what that actually does for you. NFTs are really just another digital currency. They are worth what people are prepared to pay for them. Yeah, but that's so strange because they are bound to the artwork, which most of the time is really bad art. Like not actually interesting stuff and still worth thousands of dollars. On the off chance it might be worth something more, and it's not even artistically interesting because you can say, okay, there's a lot of very simplistic art out there, but people are still buying that, and I understand that because just because the art is simple technically from how it's created doesn't mean that it's not at the same time historically important for when it was created. So there's a bit of a difference. But if you have stuff like, for example, the crypto punks or stuff like that, it probably the crypto punks have a certain amount of historical relevance because they are kind of the first, or in the range of the first to do that. But now you have like thousands of these series of artworks that are created by a computer algorithm, not even by a person. So that's kind of strange, you know. And then, of course, the value of that depends if you have the right one, the one that everybody wants, for which everybody wants for some inexplicable reason, because you can't really tell me you are such a huge fan of that specific CryptoPunk combination because he is an alien and has gray glasses instead of blue glasses. And you're like, yeah, that is now suddenly 1.5 million instead of 800,000 because the glasses are pink instead of blue. Really? That's the, I don't know. I don't get it. That's very strange. I mean, collector's items are always based on what people are willing to pay for them, so I do get that. And there's people tend to collect very strange things also, so yeah. Sure, that is happening. Like when people pay thousands upon thousands for stamps, or like, I don't know, the release of an early album or something which doesn't have different music than the other copies, but it's just like you have the privilege of having one of the first copies of that. Yeah, I understand that. That's kind of strange. Anyways, okay, how do you feel about this one here? This version of our head here. Maybe I should do just a variation of like a million of these. I just move my HSL slider here. Let's see. How does that look if you move that around? No, that doesn't look that great. And you just make a ton of different combinations of this head. Anyways, let's say if this is a version maybe. I'm kind of not 100% feeling how that moves up here, to be honest. This is kind of bugging me out up here a little bit. Let me open this up again here. I think I want to have something more like a stream that is flowing around here. So let's, come on, painted on the wrong thing again. Oh, okay. Let me go on this, and then let me paint on this a little bit here. Then let's go over here, take the dark one, paint this like so. You know what I'm also surprised is at the same time, people are extremely upset about video game companies also doing NFTs, where you can get some nice gear like a specific hat and that helmet or whatever, or the jacket that you wear that has a printed number on that, so only that has that number on it, and of course a kind of a design, which of course it's not too hard to create a lot of variations. And for some reason the people are super upset about that, which again I don't understand. Why is there a difference now when they are doing it? Maybe because they are corporate, whatever that means, and the other people are not corporate for making millions with CryptoPunks or something. I don't get the logic behind that, to be honest. It's a little bit strange. Okay, let's save this here just to have this as a variation. Let's call this version 6. And then we will do something else. What else can we do here? Oh, I have an idea. I know what we can do here. I will take this and then we will scramble this a little bit. Let me see. I don't think we can do this with the smudge finger. But maybe, let's see, if we do it like this. Whoa. Okay. No? I mean, also interesting. Also not too bad, I have to say. Kind of. This kind of drawing thing. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, anyways, what I wanted to do is let's go here maybe to liquify. And then let's see if we have a smaller size. Okay, that completely does not look as I expected it to do. Hardness, opacity, speed. Let me go back here and then go into the brush settings. I don't know. I'm not sure if this has an influence, but let's reduce the spacing to 1% and let's go back to liquify. I wanted to move this a lot more. Hmm. Hide the mesh. There's the mesh. Okay. This looks terrible. Oh, I know why. 1 second. Let's go here and make a visible merge of that. Go back to liquify. No. Look at what the... What is this? Why is there these dots? When we look at the mesh, does the mesh have that too? Yeah, it's kind of crumbled up. What I wanted to do was this kind of, you know, waves. I wanted to have some waves in here. Some like kind of organic waves. How else would you do that right now? There's another one, push left tool. We could try that. Let's reconstruct the mesh. It's also terrible. No. Oh, it's pushing it down. Okay, let's reset this. Yeah, that is more what I want. Although I just want to have it on the background. No. Simon says NFTs are intended to give you something that can't be copied, ownership of the work, though the artists can still retain the copyright and reproduction rights, just like the physical artwork. To give you something that can't be copied. And then you say, to put it in terms of physical art collecting, anyone can buy a Monet print, but only one person can own a copy owned of the original. That I completely understand. If you have a copy of, if you have the original print and the print is numbered and signed by the artist, then you do have an original work that cannot be copied and it's unique. But an NFT is only the contract. So basically, you wouldn't have a Monet print. You would have a contract that at some point in time, 100 years ago, you bought in the gallery that work. But you don't have the work because the artist never gave you the work. They only gave you a photo of that work. And then you have the contract from the gallery. This is what you get. You don't get the original data. You don't get the original drive where it's on, stuff like that. You get a photo of that work and then the contract. And the contract is saved in the blockchain and can't be changed. I don't think the artistic work is saved in the blockchain, as far as I understand. So what you have is a unique receipt from an online gallery. Not the work itself, just a receipt. What is that? How is that valuable, right? What are you doing to that? And then, you know what? I found it really interesting. I was listening to an interview where the guy who bought that Bibelcrap NFT with all of the works of Bibelcrap, this kind of online artist, very famous, and he paid 69 million for that. And he said this is, in his mind, it is $1 billion NFT because, listen to this, he's going to make a museum, or he thinks he's going to make a museum where people can look at different NFTs, and then at the end of the exhibition, this is the biggest, piece, the whatever you would call it, whatever, the biggest piece, the masterpiece of that collection to look at. What? What are you talking about? This is a JPEG. You can look at that on your screen. You're not going to look. Who is going to a museum to look at the JPEG? The JPEG doesn't change. a Monet print or whatever, an artwork, a Picasso changes in a museum because it's the original work, and you look at the actual material and you look at the brush strokes and you look at the actual expression of that, or when you have an original developed photo of that artist that has a very specific like expression because it uses the materials from that time and it is developed by the hands of the artist in a very specific way that is distinctly different from a print even in a very nice art book. But a JPEG is a JPEG. Well, what the hell are you going to do with that inside of a museum, you know? And the only difference would be when you say, hey, this is from a famous artist, digital artist, stuff like that. And this is the only copy that you can see on that original device. This is why usually artists also combine it with some kind of technical thing. So this is you look at it like that. So, for example, you have artists who work with, what is the name of that artist? I can't remember. And they always figure out some way where you have to have that screen too, or you have to have that LED stripe at the installation in that room specifically. So it's made just for that room, or it's made just for that screen, stuff like that makes it special. But a JPEG that everybody can watch on a screen, I don't understand what the purpose of that is. To have that as the big, and how, this is also the thing, how are you going to reveal that as the big piece that everybody wants to see if this is the piece that everybody already has seen 1,000 times online, right? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. I really don't understand. I understand if you want to see the original Mona Lisa because you can't see that anywhere but at that place as the original painting. But you know, what the hell? I don't get it. I really don't understand what's going on there. It's very strange. Anyways, by the way, I'm kind of trying to figure out how would you do that kind of, you know, I want to have these wiggly lines in the background floating like it's digitally bent. But it doesn't seem like you can do that in Affinity Photo because in Liquify kind of looks not great. The only thing that looked great is this kind of push left thing. But the problem is the push left thing pushes it in a different... Oh, that is working. Wait a second. No, that is actually good. This is kind of what I want. Or no, it's not, because it's pushing it down. I wanted to push it to the side. It kind of looks a little bit to the side, and it doesn't really look good on the background either. That's actually a very interesting puzzle here. How would you do that, and how would you make that look nice on the background? It looks good on the foreground because the foreground has more detail, but the background doesn't. Let me see. Or maybe, let me see, if we do it like this, maybe make the brush a little bit bigger here. Let's do it like this. And then, yeah, so I don't understand what they were talking about in that interview. So maybe I'm just not getting it and I have to see it. Let's see. See the final way of how it is used. Oh, it's actually not too bad. That's actually not too bad. Make this a little bit bigger here. What do you think about that? Do you like that? Not too bad. Should we, maybe let's try some dodge and burn on this? Let me see. Can you not copy the background, distort it, and then paste a copy of the head back on? So what I'm doing right now, is that what you mean or something else? Can you not copy the background and then paste a copy of the head back on? So you mean what I'm doing right now, or you mean something different than that? Wait, I have to go here to... oh, actually, this is good. Let's rotate this so I see the right... come on. Where's the one? Where's the one we usually have? Ah, this one. Okay, good. Okay, let's make this a little bit darker here. Let me quickly try this to see if this has any benefit if I do it like that. I feel like it doesn't look sufficiently bent. Like I wanted to have like a little bit of a 3D bend in it, which I feel like right now it doesn't really do. This is why I thought maybe making some parts a little bit darker and then making some parts a little bit brighter. Could maybe do that. This is too big. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit better. Although over here you can see the effect a little bit, but let me paint on that a bit more. The brush a bit bigger, make the opacity a bit smaller. Okay. And then maybe let me hide this. What is this, by the way? Oh, it's just this is the thing, the effect. I understand. Okay, let me merge visible. Yes, this is what I want to do. And then let's go like this, put this in here, and then use the normal one. Yes, okay, make this a little bit bigger here. No. Ooh. Can do some Medusa effect. Yeah. Okay. No. What is this? To set a source. Oh, okay, no. We don't want to do that. Freeze tool, no. Okay, let's cancel this. But it's not too bad. It's not exactly what I want to have here. It's not too bad either. But we can do something else. Let me try this. Sorry. Pixelate. Let's pixelate this like so. And then put a mask on that. And then let's remove some parts of that. Nope, we need some more opacity here. Some bigger. No, that's too big. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Kind of nice. All right, let's see. By the way, let's see if we blend this differently. Ooh. Can go really extreme here. Now maybe leave this normal. Let's save this too. Or maybe, wait a second. Let's hide this. Make a second copy here. Merge visible. Make this visible again. Rasterize this, but a little bit less. Not rasterize, pixelate. Okay. And again, mask. And again, paint on that. See, oh, the other one is turned off. Okay, there we go. So we can have some effects where we have some bigger pixels and then we also have some smaller pixels sometimes. That might be interesting. And then maybe make this upper, these pixels here, a little bit brighter. Or maybe bring more contrast to them. Yeah, not too bad. Okay. Let me adjust the other ones too. There we go. Okay, interesting. Let's save this. Save as version number 7. Okay, so we have a little bit of stuff to post. Pretty cool. How long is the stream? I think it's over an hour now, right? Oh yeah, wow. Okay, it's over an hour. All right. Let's go to the talk view. I hope this was interesting today. Oh, this is the wrong one. I wanted to have the chat. 1 second. Pop out the chat. There we go. All right. So yeah, that was an experiment to make this more exclusive. Maybe next time I make it live again on the channel. Yeah, that was interesting to do that. And by the way, I really want to go back to do more streams too, because I kind of miss that, kind of regularly creating something interesting, and I can experiment with ideas and then maybe turn them into a tutorial, things like that. Could be interesting. So let's see. Yeah. All right. I hope you enjoyed that today. And yeah, have a nice Sunday, rest of the Sunday. Okay, good. All right, thank you very much for watching and see you soon, right? Bye.